This is the story of the rivalry of feathered friends in a kingdom not so far away. There lived a flock of birds who were known as the jealous birds. They were an extremely jealous bunch. You see, they lived in luxurious birdhouses right next to each other, and every morning they would wake up just before sunrise and immediately start gossiping about each other's nests. Oh, my feathers are ruffled. Did you see what Priscilla was wearing this morning? That feathered boa looks absolutely dreadful on her. Or, my feathers are so untidy. I saw Ferdinand preening his feathers this morning. I wish I had such perfect plumage. They spend their days criticizing each other's choices of outfit, home decor, food, everything. And by the end of the day, all their feathers would be completely ruffled. Now, next door to the birdhouses lived a family of pigeons. They were simple, innocent creatures who mind their own business. They didn't care what they wore or what the others looked like. They just wanted to live in peace and eat some crumbs. But the jealous birds hated that the pigeons didn't care about their looks or their accessories, so they tried to make their lives miserable. They would fly down just before feeding time and peck at their food, just barely leaving enough for the pigeons to eat. And whenever the pigeons tried to leave the birdhouses to look for more food, the jealous birds would swoop down and say, "Where are you going? Don't. You know, it's dangerous outside. Stay inside, you silly pigeons." And so the pigeons stayed inside, getting weaker and thinner with each passing day. One day, a little pigeon named Phil decided he had had enough of the bullying. He wanted to go outside and see what the world looked like. So while the jealous birds were out looking for the best berries to gossip about, Phil and his friend Pat tiptoed past them and out into the world. It was so beautiful outside. Phil and Pat spent the whole day exploring, and they didn't even realize it was getting dark until they had to find somewhere to sleep. Luckily, they found an old, abandoned birdhouse and snuggled up to each other for warmth. The next morning, the jealous birds flew past the old birdhouse and saw Phil and Pat sleeping inside. "Oh, look at them," they said. "Those dirty pigeons sleeping in an old, messy birdhouse. How disgusting." Then they started to make fun of the pigeons, calling them names and saying, "Hey, why don't you clean up your nest? It looks so messy." Pat and Phil peeked out of the birdhouse and yelled, "We don't have to clean up our nest because we're not birds, we're pigeons, and we're not like you. We don't spend our days gossiping and criticizing others. We spend our time looking for food and trying to make the world a better place." The jealous birds stopped in their tracks. They had never thought about how they spent their time or how they treated others. They had always just done what they had seen other birds do, but now that they thought about it, being a pigeon didn't sound so bad. From that day on, the birds decided to be more like the pigeons, spending their days doing good deeds instead of gossiping and criticizing. And that's how the rivalry of feathered friends ended.